Happy November. So I just changed the at location, the handle of Salvatore Frisella Italia. The at is Speak Italian. We're going to focus on this channel, just learning to speak Italian. I grew up under the Sicilian dialect. I want to study the Tuscany dialect, which is the dialect that's the formal Italian. So you might hear a little Sicilian if you understand Italian and you know the regions. You might, he said that the way the Sicilians say it. Sometimes I'll say beda instead of bella. I'll say just certain little tweaks. I'll acknowledge it if I recognize I do it, or I'll write it in the caption to acknowledge. Oh, I said that in the Sicilian dialect. My family's from Giardinello, Sicily. My grandparents, my grandmother barely learned English, so I grew up hearing the Sicilian dialect, which is a goulash of Greek and Arabic, and even German is in there, as well as Spanish. So Sicily was an island that was constantly fought over because it was so strategically placed in the Mediterranean. So any country that wanted to buy, sell, trade, and transfer stuff, they wanted that island. But the natives, of course, we held on to our culture. Obviously, a lot of stuff rubbed off on from the whatever reigning or ruling, influencing kingdom or country. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, Spain was one that did not intermingle with the native Sicilians. One of the few temporary ruling countries that a lot of times, like the Greeks came in and took over to develop Magna Greca. They definitely intermingled. The Arabs did. Obviously the Normans did. But the Spain, when they took over, they didn't intermingle. They just had land barons, and they didn't intermingle. So even though linguistically, like my grandmother, Maria Canova Frisella, she would say beso, which is, instead of kiss, a bacio in Italiano, she say beso, which is actually how they say it in Spanish. So it was one of those things that I grew up like, oh wait, that's Italian. No, that's Spanish. I'm like, no, it's Italian. It's actually Sicilian dialect, which is a goulash of a whole bunch of stuff. So now I'm studying the proper Tuscany dialect that has been standardized since the Holy Roman Empire. So I'm learning different phonics as well. So anyway, let's begin. Number one, I'm going to just do 1 through 10, maybe. Let's go 1 through 8. Yeah, we'll do something like that. So it's posted on the community, just like a little picture, and has a list of the vocabulary we're going to go over with that. And based on those different words, I'm going to try to go in culturally, talking about the culture, how and why it's said that way. Because I think when you understand why it's said that way, it's a lot more easier to remember how to say it. Something about it's like an actor going, what's my motivation? Until you know your motivation, it's very difficult to memorize your lines unless you're really gifted in photographic memory or whatever. So number one, salve. Salve. It is formal. It means hello and goodbye, just like ciao. Ciao means hello and goodbye. Unless you double it up on it like number 8, ciao ciao, which means it's informal, and it just means bye-bye. Like a little kid, bye-bye, ciao ciao. But salve is a formal way of saying hello, goodbye. You would say it to clergy or a police officer, someone in government, a boss that you have a formal relationship with, or your boss's boss. You would say that's how you show respect. In Italy, etiquette and propriety is very important. So it's good to learn formal and informal wordings. Second word is, of course, we've gone over this one before, buongiorno. Buongiorno. I phonetically spelt it out. It's like the W is in there. Actually, U and W and V in Rome in Latin, the evolution of this language are all connected together. So U and W have a connection with each other, historically speaking, or etymology-wise. So buongiorno, good morning. Actually, it's good day, and it also means throughout the 24-hour clock. You say buongiorno, have a wonderful 24 hours, basically. After 4 o'clock, it changes to buonasera. Buonasera. And that means 4-ish is still technically afternoonish. For me, 5 turns into evening, 6 turns into evening. 4 is still kind of early, but really it means good evening. Also, in number 5, it says buon di, and it's both formal and informal. It just means good day, buon di. You got to keep it pithy. You got to keep going, buon di, real quick. And I think it also can tell people your parallel linguistics, like I don't have time to talk. Buon di, I hope you have a good day. I got to go, but I get going. But you have a good day, Buon di. This one means it's nice to meet you in an informal way. You only really need to say piacere, which means pleased, and it also means. It can also be implied nice to meet you. There's a lot of implied subjects in Italian, so you're not necessarily having to say every word. The understood subject or the understood verb or whatever, the point is nice to meet you. Piacere, pleased. I'm pleased to meet you. But literally you want to spell it out in an informal way. It's piacere di conoscerti. Di conoscerti. So conoscerti implies it's nice to meet you, or it's the meaning of each other. And that's the informal way. If you want to change it to formal, it will change. The conoscerti turns into conoscerla. Piacere di conoscerla. So once again, if you're talking to clergy or government official, bosses, anybody that's an elderly person, that's a great way of showing respect to them. Good galateo, good etiquette or manners would say, I'm acknowledging you as an elder in our community and our family. So, piacere di conoscerla implies a formal way of very nice to meet you. The Frisellas are a huge family. A lot of us are in St. Louis, and I'm meeting cousins. And I'm 52 years old. I'm still meeting cousins. So, and of course, a lot of them are elderly. Many of them knew my mother. So, I was raised by my mom. So, I'll meet them and like, oh, wow, And some of them that are fluent, I recognize when I will say something of that nature, like, conoscerla. Oh, no, don't do that. Or, come stai is common or informal, but come sta is formal, and I would address them come sta, and oh no, come sta, no, you don't have to be formal with me, But I always start formal and start with an attitude of respect, and then they can invite me in to start acknowledging them, and from the la form to the T form. So la is formal, T is informal. In many ways. And I'll address these things as we go through our vocabulary. Ciao, ciao. Let's talk about this earlier. Number 8, ciao, ciao. Very informal. Basically means bye-bye. Ciao, ciao. Talk to a little kid. Ciao, ciao. Talk to someone you have a very intimate relationship with. Ciao, ciao. Number 9, buona giornata. Buona giornata. And I'm saying it slow very purposefully because I want you to hear the phonics. Buona giornata. Have a good day. And that's before 4 o'clock. Buongiorno is how you doing? It's like when you meet the person initially. When you're saying goodbye, you could say buona giornata, which basically you're wishing them a good rest of the day that as we part from each other. So buona giornata, have a good day, before 4 o'clock. After at 4 o'clock, you want to switch it to buona serata. Buona serata. Have a good day, or basically have a good evening. So buona serata. This one I've debated to keep it in the vocabulary or not. It's a mouthful, and I don't want to rush anybody who are beginners and overwhelm them. But let's go ahead and do it. It means Godspeed. So you're talking to somebody and you're saying basically Godspeed, enjoy the rest of your day or evening in the next 24 hours. So this one would be buon proseguimento. Proseguimento. It literally means continuation. But when you throw bon in front of it, bon proseguimento, it means Godspeed. So basically, good continuation with your day. So that's a mouthful. Pause the video, pull out your Google Translator, see the phonics, break it down. Buon proseguimento. Godspeed. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening. Number 12. Buonanotte. Buonanotte. Good night. When going to bed. You're not going to say this even late evening, maybe 9 or 10 o'clock, and you're out and about. You're not going to say this to people. Buonanotte. No, don't say that. That's reserved for when you're going to bed. You would say buonasera. It's still evening. Buonasera. It really is reserved for good night. Some people ask me, well, how do you say good morning? Because in America, we say, good morning, which would be buona. What is it? Buon mattina. Buon mattina. If I think about it, it messes me up. I know instantly do it. You don't really say that as well in the Italian culture. You're going to say buon giorno. It covers the whole day. You're just wishing someone just a good morning, but not afternoon and evening, And Italians do think they do think different. Their sensibility is very different. So you normally don't say that to strangers. I say to my wife in the morning, I say buon mattina, bella, which there's that Sicilian, bella, bella, beautiful. So you wouldn't say good morning. And you also won't say good night to strangers unless you're in the same house and you're going straight to bed. And you say buonanotte, buonanotte, sogni dolci. Sogni dolci means sweet dreams. So good night, sweet dreams. Buonanotte, sogni dolci. But you wouldn't say that out and about. You just say buonasera. All right, see here. That was buonanotte. 13. Arrivederci. Arrivederci. It means goodbye. It's plural. It's informal as well as the formal form is arrivederla. Arrivederla. And it's the arriving again, literally. I can break down the etymology some other time. But basically, it's goodbye. I'll see you again. Wishing you a good return, really. 14. A dopo. A dopo. A dopo. It means see you later. You can also say it, remember when in school you got a tardy slip when you were late for class and you were sent to the principal? I don't know if they still do it these days. Teachers are afraid they're going to get shot. Bad joke. But anyway, a più tardi. A mean to, più for more, tardy. I'll see more later, to more later, literally. But it basically means I'll see you later. So does a dopo. A dopo, it means see you later. Number 15, a presto. presto. Now, if I roll my R's, don't get overwhelmed by that if you can't roll your arms. There are literally Italians. Now, I'm talking about Italian Americans. I'm talking about native Italians in Italy this day, right now, who cannot genetically roll their R's. It is something that some people just don't have that ability to do. Don't sweat it. Just pronounce the R. Don't roll it. You're not going to look down. People are not going to look down on you because they're literally Italians who can't do that. So, but there is a majority of people that can roll their R's, and the rolling of the R is not overly exaggerated. You're almost flicking your tongue. And I'll do I think I've already done one, but I'll do it again on the technique on how to roll your R's. So presto, presto, I'm exaggerating now. Presto, a presto. See you later. A dopo, see you later. A presto, see you soon. A presto, see you soon. 16, ci vediamo. Remember video? These are Latin words influenced English. Ci vediamo. Ci vediamo. See you. So you're with a friend, it's informal. Ci vediamo. And so it means see you. Stammi bene. Stammi bene. Take care. That's a singular, informal, and formal. Stammi bene. Bene means good. So take, to take, stammi. Stammi bene. Take care, to a singular person. And there's different forms of plural. We'll go into the U's and the V's and the T's, the T's, and the voi's and all that stuff like that. So, stammi bene. Now, the plural form is sta te mi bene. State mi bene. Take care, to a plural form of people. So you're talking to a room, you're leaving say you have friends that own a restaurant, and you're hanging out, you had dinner, and you're leaving, and you're telling everybody, state mi bene. State mi bene. And everybody wave back, yeah, ciao, but whatever, So that's 18 that we're going to do this month in November of 2023. I'm going to do another 18 to 20 in December, but I still want to continue on a daily basis doing shorts that are just a single word or a very simple sentence, just like how we learned as a child. And hopefully, I'm gonna start bringing more in visual aid, so you can see a fork, a knife, a cucchiaio. What was that? Remember that? A spoon. So these are things that I grew up under some of these words. Some of the things are very different. They're like, oh, it's just like Spanish. Once you get past the meet and greet, it is very different. Good example is cucino, gugino in the Sicilian dialect. Cucino, what is that? Cousin. In Spanish, primo. So those are the difference. Once you get into the language, it is a different language, even though they're both Latin-based languages. But the Hispano grabbed on to different of their, even their early imperialized of the Roman Empire coming in and taking over. And there's a theory about the S, why there's always an S at the end of it. It's basically I'm establishing I'm a Hispano. And there's a small section called Spano, that's where the Hispanic, where we get that word from, that resisted the Roman Empire for 40 years. So all the local people were like, I identify with those guys. Those guys were tough. They lost. They're like Rocky. They went 40 years, and eventually Rome wore them out. And so I'm with those underdogs, and so it's pretty cool on that front. But in the influence, what Latin hung on and what Latin didn't hang on, you'll find that there's a lot of grammar-wise, Romania has held on closer to the original, or at least the standardized that the Romans standardized, grammar-wise. Phonetically, the Italians held on to that, closest to the Latin wording. So we can go into stuff like that. I like researching that. I've spoken about 20 minutes now. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but rewind the video, stop, pause, click back 10 seconds and redo it again, and click back 10 seconds. If you learn things by rote, your brain will retain it. Notice I was struggling trying to remember what good morning was. I was thinking it, and then I envisioned saying, good morning to someone, and it came out. So your brain is a computer, and your subconscious mind will find it for you. If you keep learning it by rote, you keep hearing it, you're going to get it in you, and eventually you're going to find yourself conjugating sentences, and you're going to just be so pleased with yourself that you can actually speak fluently in Italian to anybody that speaks it. All right, peace. Buonanotte.